Hello, Grace Point, and happy Holy Week to you as we continue this video series by remembering and reflecting upon the events leading up to Sunday, leading up to Christ's resurrection to Easter Sunday. Today we find ourselves on Friday. It's Good Friday. Good Friday would seem like such a strange term to describe today. It's good, it is good, and we know it's good because of Sunday. Sunday makes the events of Friday to where we can say that there's good. But there's a reason why I know myself, and I'm sure many others, often slip up and refer to today as Black Friday, because the events, they are so dark. This really is the low point of all of human history. And these events, they begin in the Garden of Gethsemane, where Jesus is arrested. He's arrested and brought to a mockery of a trial where judicial law after judicial law is broken, also that they can put a guilty verdict upon him. Jesus is brought to Pontius Pilate, where he has him beaten and scourged, whipped, humiliated, and disgraced. And then after he is brought back, the people double down and they cry out that they want to crucify him. Crucify him. And so Jesus is taken away outside the city to Golgotha, and is there that the nails are driven through his hands and they're driven through his feet. There he is crucified, but the worst is yet to come. That's what it says in Matthew 27, that even as Jesus is up on the cross, it says that now from the 6th hour, starting verse 45, now from the 6th hour, there was darkness over all the land until the 9th hour. And about the 9th hour, Jesus cried out with a loud voice, saying, Eli, Eli, lema sabachthani. That is, my God, why have you forsaken me? Be forsaken by God. To forsake is that very concept is all throughout Scripture. God was calling on Israel actually for them to forsake their idols, for them to forsake their pagan practices, as they had run to Baal and Marduk and these false gods. He told them to forsake them, to abandon them, to flee from them. But instead, they had forsaken God's law. They had forsaken God's commandments. And so where they failed to forsake, we find here that God forsakes Christ. Here is the only begotten Son of God, the one who just 3 years prior, remember, he was there in the Jordan River as he was being baptized, and the Spirit of God, it descended upon him like a dove. And then a voice cried out from heaven saying, "This is my Son with whom I am well pleased." And then, my God, why have you forsaken me? This is the low point of Christ's mission to earth. As he is here, he is in this forsakenness by God. He is enduring the agony of sin heaped upon him. The weight of sin, the full weight of sin, is upon him as the Son of God, and all that means. He is enduring the pain of being utterly abandoned even in that moment. He's abandoned by his disciples. He is abandoned even by the faithful women who had served him. They cannot help him. He is abandoned by the angels who had come to his aid previously, but here cannot. And he is forsaken by God the Father. This is all then underscored by the darkness, the supernatural darkness that is put over the land from the 6th of the 9th hour, that is from noon till 3 p.m. So at the height of the day. And darkness all throughout Scripture is a picture of God's judgment. Isaiah 8, Isaiah 13, Joel 2, and even in the 10 plagues. See how darkness was a judgment upon Egypt for their refusal to let God's people go. And here there is darkness in the land as God's judgment is being unleashed. It is being unfurled, not by way of a flood or by locusts or fire, but God's divine wrath, his divine anger is being poured out onto the spotless and blameless Son of God. Man's wrath was nothing in comparison to God's wrath. Being abandoned, being forsaken. And Jesus puts upon his lips the words of Psalm 22. My God, why have you forsaken me? Or here he has, as one writer put it, the roar of desperate agony without rebellion. And after Jesus had yielded up his spirit, the passage then goes on to say, there even in verse 59, it says, and Joseph, that is Joseph of Arimathea, took the body and wrapped it in a clean linen shroud and laid it in his own new tomb, which he had cut in the rock, and he rolled a great stone to the entrance of the tomb and went away. Mary Magdalene and the other Mary were there, sitting opposite the tomb. And this is where we're left. This is where Friday ends. Friday doesn't end with a trumpet sound. It doesn't end with a song and tambourine. It ends with a cry of the forsaken and a stone in front of a tomb. That's where Friday ends. And that's where we end. We end with that picture, with that culmination of Friday. And so I strongly encourage you, don't miss out on the rest, because this isn't the end, but this is how Friday concludes. Don't miss out on the rest. Join us on Sunday at 9:30 for the Easter service at Grace Point, so that you can hear the rest of the story. But we close with that, a cry of the forsaken and a stone in front of a tomb. God bless you.